I'm Paul Perkins with the check of your ag weather. As cool high pressure digs in from the north, our highs tomorrow are once again in the 70s across the central and east, in the low to mid 80s from North Platte into northwest Kansas. Sunday, a transition day to much warmer than normal temperatures as a ridge of high pressure builds east onto the plains. Our highs Sunday mostly in the 80s. Some areas of northwest Kansas, though, can expect highs up around 90. Widespread highs that are 10 degrees warmer than normal in the upper 80s to the low 90s take hold for Monday through Wednesday. Increasingly dry conditions in fields and pastures may increase the fire weather concerns. Approaching low pressure Thursday, dropping our highs just slightly into the 80s with breezy southerly winds. Forecast models are hinting at a brief chance of rain and slightly cooler temperatures late next week and next weekend. In our long-term forecast, warmer than normal temperatures remain very likely Wednesday through September 19th in Nebraska, Kansas, and much of the U.S. By mid-September in central Nebraska, our daytime highs are usually in the upper 70s, with overnight lows typically around 50. Slightly below normal rainfall is indicated for Nebraska and Kansas the mid to late part of next week. That's before a trend of near normal to slightly above normal rainfall next weekend through September 19th. Key weather factors influencing the markets include more dry weather with increasing heat in the Corn Belt and concerns of dry conditions before South America's spring. Cool air settling across the Midwest lingers through the weekend and is followed by a rapid warming trend. Weekend frost may occur in the upper Great Lakes, including northern sections of Minnesota and Wisconsin. The rest of the U.S. experiences near or above normal temperatures through next week. The hottest weather, when compared to normal, affects the western half of the U.S. Rain is scarce the next 5 days, all the way from the Pacific coast into the mid and upper Mississippi Valley. Across the plains and Midwest, drier conditions are good for maturing corn and soybeans, but not for the immature crops in need of a little more rain. Rainy weather prevails along and near the Gulf Coast and in the southern Atlantic states, with locally heavy rain returning across coastal Texas early next week. 5-day rainfall could reach 5 inches or more along the Gulf Coast and in parts of Florida. Brazil is mostly too dry, just ahead of planting season. Central Brazil's chances of wet season rain by the end of the month are very low, and the rains might be delayed to next month. Rio Grande do Sul and far southern Brazil is better off with sufficient soil moisture from timely rains. Argentina remains very dry for developing wheat and is too dry for corn planting in most areas. Very limited rain in northern Argentina this week is followed by another chance the middle of next week. In Western Europe, rain through the weekend is not good for any of the remaining wheat harvest or drying down of corn. Eastern Europe, that's very warm and dry, is in good shape for maturing summer crops, but not for early planting of winter crops. With the check of your ag weather, I'm Paul Perkins.